It was probably the best thing that could happen to me, man.
Right.
Because I probably should have been dead 80 times already, you know. So
Damn.
it's like one of those situations where it's like you looking around the room and half the homies are already gone, you know.
Yeah, man.
You start realizing you're next. This is it. Like,
Yeah, how do I
all them
escape
times that it barely missed you, it ain't going to next time.
Big Boys Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, I'll make an introduction. If you know, you know.
Hey.
Louie TheSinger, welcome to the neighborhood, bro.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Man, it is my pleasure, bro. Now, and it's crazy because we were at an event, and what was the event? You remember the event, Jose? What was the name of it? What was that night?
Save the Music.
Save the music. Save the music, bro. Thank you. This dude been busier than us. And I'm over here like, what was it? What was it?
I had to think about it too. I was like, man, what is it?
But yeah, it was Save the Music, man. And I had already seen the bumbles coming from you, you know.
Right.
And then that's when they was like, oh, you know, Louie TheSinger. I was like, Jose, I said, you got to watch this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So I see you get up there, bro, and such an amazing voice.
Thank you.
The things that you do on the countryside is amazing.
Thank you.
And when we got off, I remember I was like, dude, I got to get this dude on.
Wow.
And we are here, and welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, man, because there's such a journey with you that I do want to cover. You know, we'll meet someone and we think like, oh, you know, I see him on stage, he got a guitar, he's singing his heart out. But there's a lot that come with that.
Right.
Before we get an introduction.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So were you born and raised in Fort Worth or
Born and raised.
Born and raised in Fort
Born and
Worth.
raised in Fort Worth, Texas.
Now, was there music always in the household as well?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
It had no choice.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I grew up
Right.
on the Selenas, the Michaels, and the Garth Brookses. My parents, both of them, were big Michael Jackson fans.
Gotcha.
Like, I mean, through the roof. I probably watched every interview on Michael by the time I was like 13.
Gotcha.
And Selena was the big one. Saturdays were made for cleaning the house.
Yes, sir.
We had a house probably the size of this room, and somehow it took all day still.
Yeah. Did we just move that from here to over there?
Baseboards, cleaning baseboards
Yeah,
for sure.
man.
I'm like, who looks at those? You know?
Yeah.
But my mom would play Selena, so like that was kind of, it went from like, oh my God, to okay, you know,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
cleaning. And then of course Garth Brooks, you know, like country music was real big in my house too.
Wow. So y'all had it all in the house.
I mean, we're from Texas, so
Yeah,
it's kind of
It's not mandatory, is it? You know,
pretty much.
Like they drive by the house. You got any Garth in there?
Well, if you had an asada and it goes from Garth to Luke to Selena to Mike, nobody looks back and says who's playing music. They just keep jamming.
I heard that. So it's like a gumbo, like a whole little put together of music.
Yeah. I mean, we are Mexicanos, but we're from the South.
Yeah,
you know, so,
gotcha.
Like, you know, even grew up on soul music. You know,
Gotcha.
like, my mom was a big Mary Mary fan, and you know, we got to meet him that night.
Tell
you know,
me
I couldn't
about
even
it,
hold
man.
it in on the stage. I was like, big boy, man, big shout out to you. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he gave me a
LL.
That's what I told you. He gave me a shout out from the stage,
I
and I
couldn't
was
believe it. I was like, Mary, my mom would trip out right now, and I'm like, what are you doing? Stop. Like,
hey man, but it's crazy because you're living the dream.
Yeah, it's
and
like
you know,
yeah.
growing up, bro, we always think like, you know, we want to do something, and we want to do something right. And then there's times in your life where life will kind of swing you in different directions, you know. And it's not that you lose your eyes on the prize, but there's just life circumstances that we got to deal with as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the same thing with my growing up. I always knew I wanted something, but I didn't have a straight road to it.
Right.
And I learned a lot. I paid a lot of tuition into the School of Experience, and I know you have as well.
Yeah.
When do you go from cleaning up the house, listening to music, to actually knowing you want to be a part of it? Were you always writing?
Oh yeah, I started with poetry and stuff
Okay,
like that,
gotcha.
like rapping and stuff, like the little raps around the house, you know. And then I started finding my voice when I was a teenager. And you know, my mom would be like, "You can sing," and I'm like, "Man, you're my mom. That's your job to say that." But it wasn't until like, you know, in high school, girls like saying stuff like that. And I went to 12 high schools, so I moved around a lot. You know, I was a different little youngster.
Right,
You know
right.
how that goes.
Now, when you say you moved around a lot, were you moving around to high schools a lot, or were y'all moving around as a family a lot?
I was moving around high schools.
Yeah, you
I
was
got
messing
a lot,
up.
I got a lot
Yeah.
of trouble. I
Yeah.
was locked up as a juvenile at 14 and multiple times till I was 17, locked up as an adult. But I started finding music in high school, and I was like singing, breakdancing, doing the whole thing, like just
Everything,
just
throwing up
involved in
everything.
entertainment, man. Just like
Same.
it was cool, you know. So, but I started finding my voice around like 16, 17, and really just realizing like, man, you know what? I think I can do this. And then I remember like finding like the Frankie J's of the world and being like,
Right.
I think I can actually do this. You know, I think I might have a
Right.
chance in this. And you know, just finding myself took a very long time, but the music was always there. So it's like everything met at one point. And it just,
What does the family or even the community, when you say, man, I went to 12 different high schools in high school, that's 12 different high schools.
yeah.
What do people think? Like now you can look and it's like, oh, the success story. But when you're going through the so-called mud, are people Are they with you, or do they feel like, man, come on, like, they don't believe in you as much?
No, if anything, they believe in me is even more because now everybody got a story saying like, oh, I went to high school with him.
Right. That's now, but I'm talking about at the moment.
Like when it was going through, when I was going through, oh man, I was getting all kinds of like what I think it was is people were waiting for me to mess up,
Right.
So when I'm in and out of jail, even as an adult, at 17, I finally go to jail,
Right.
and like the family's just like, man, what are you doing, and then I'm in and out of jail all through my 20s, end up in prison in my later 20s, and then it was one of those things where like he ruined it. He's done. It's cool. Like, and when everybody else lost faith, I was like, damn near losing it myself. And that's when I kind of like, I don't like to say God found me. I found him. He's been waiting. So I started just trying to move different, man. Trying to like, whatever. But people, they had a lot to say, and and it's cool. I'm not one of those like, man, I told you so. Now it's kind of like, I let the success do that.
Right.
I'm more on some like, man, hey, it's all love.
Yeah. And it's those things where you say, I prove me right.
Yeah.
Not that, and if proving me right also includes proving you wrong, that's not what I did it for.
Yeah, I did it for my kids, man.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
I got 4 beautiful boys.
4 beautiful boys, man.
Boys.
I heard,
Yeah. I was one of 4 brothers too. Is that how?
Oh,
is
wow.
that weird?
That's
Right? Yeah.
cool.
So if anybody was meant to have 4 boys, it was definitely me.
Yeah.
My brother got the girl, which hey, kudos.
Hey, man, so when you going through and you say, man, I have been incarcerated many a times between 17 and in your 20s, even as a juvenile, and you say I started to find my voice around the age of 16. Is that voice a singing voice? Is that voice so it's not country music at that time?
It was R&B.
Right.
But it was weird because it always came out real soulful. Like, right, I had this twang to me that we couldn't really know where to place, and it was like, the R&B records were cool, but there would be those couple lines that came out, and it's like, it's like, well, you don't really sound R&B-ish.
Like this is something different.
Yeah,
we don't know what to call it.
Yeah,
but,
and then I just got older, and it was one of those things that when I transitioned in as a man, like I couldn't do the music the way like I was used to, and when I would try, it just didn't feel right. And I'm always about feeling with the music, so I started doing music that felt good, and it felt like me, like I didn't have to be somebody else no more.
But
like,
you were the R&B artist, and that's what I say. We throw everything up against the wall. R&B artist, at one point break dancer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rapper.
Yeah.
And that was the same with me. I DJ'd, I did everything. I just knew I wanted to be somewhere in entertainment.
Right.
So you throw everything up against the wall. R&B is what you thought was your calling.
Correct.
Right. And so you're an R&B artist. And how professional is that at the time?
It ended up moving pretty good. Like I had, my cool little Texas radio run, and my first.
Did you think at that time, like, man, I made it?
I honestly, yeah. I was thinking that I had a good start.
Right.
And being young, you don't know what made it feels like, and realizing what that is, and it's definitely not this. It's definitely not this feeling, and because the motivation has changed, but the game plan is still the same. And the goal. Now the motivation is the kids, and the goal is to get mama out. Get her to own that house.
Gotcha.
Get the kids to college. And then I'll figure it out from here. I always have.
Right. So right now we know we got a mission.
Yeah.
And the mission involves not just you, but it involves other people.
Correct.
Yeah, man. It's a different kind of hustle, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's because it's like, man, like I'm not failing just for me no more, because I know what it's like to be rock bottom. I'm cool with that.
Right.
But I'm not going to see my kids like that.
I hear you. We definitely don't want our kids to go through what we went through.
No, not at all.
Hey, man, I remember telling my mom, man, we were homeless at one point, and it was 7 of us. It was 7 kids and my mom. And I remember telling her, I was like, Mom, one day I'm going to buy you a house.
Man.
And she told me, she said, I know you will, baby. We living in a motel. And she could have easily said, stop and get, oh, God, I got to figure out how to pay, today's rent. And I felt like she believed it, and I bought it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I ended up buying that, bro. And it's crazy when you can do those kind of things.
Yeah.
And as long as you stay laser focused, like how can that not happen?
Exactly.
How can it not happen? So when you go from juvenile, you say you were in and out, then you get your prison bid. How long is that bid?
It wasn't long. I got a 3-piece worked out for me, and which was good because I went on the run, so I didn't think they was gonna give me that.
Right.
I ended up working out a 3-piece for two different cases running concurrent, and it was probably the best thing that could happen to me,
right?
Because I probably should have been dead 80 times already,
Damn.
So it's like one of those situations where it's like you looking around the room and half the homies are already gone,
Yeah, man.
You start realizing you're next. This is it. Like,
how do I escape
all the times that it barely missed you. it ain't going to next time because ain't very many people to hit now. You know? So it's just one of those things where you like life hits you. You know what I'm saying? I almost lost my father which he did pass, but almost lost my father in high school. So it's always been real. You know, he was kidnapped when I was 15. So all of these things that, you know, they all just finally boiled up. And it was like over. I was done. I was like, you know what? But I'll be honest, when I got out of prison, I was still I couldn't get a job. It took 6 months. Nobody's giving me nothing, like, because, you know, I went to prison for the assault and for drugs. So nobody's trying to give me nothing. And I ended up going back to the dumb shit, you know, and I'm doing the
survival.
Yeah. And it's sad because, you know, I ended up falling into the system. And the only reason the system works is because we keep doing what they know we gonna do, you know. So I was like, you know, I've always been a guy that goes against the grain. So I'm like, you know what? Well, I'm gonna buck the system. I'm gonna try my hardest to not, you know. And I really like it wasn't me. It was really God helping me because like he would show me little things, and I'm like, it was like one little step at a time, and then it was like before you know it, I'm looking up and I'm at sold out shows now.
Right.
Yeah. So
hey man, but it's a hell of a journey getting there too.
Yeah.
You know, and like I say, and I think, you know, I just heard it recently too, but I always say, man, you know, the rear view is a mother effer. You know what I'm saying? And looking through that windshield is totally different.
Yeah.
And when you look through your rear view, of course there's a lot, but that's like real time. Yeah. And you say, oh, I look up now and it's sold out shows. And that's just kind of the summarized version.
Right.
But with each one of those, it's like, it's pitfalls, it's real life, it's accomplishments, it's disappointments. And it's nothing like making, you know, it's nothing like disappointing yourself, right? But then also knowing that you disappointed somebody else.
Facts.
That sometimes that hurt even more so, bro.
Yeah, it was hard seeing my sons in prison visit. The first time I held my third son, Luis, was in prison. His mother had him when I was in there about 4 or 5 months in, maybe 3 months.
What kind of promise do you make to yourself then?
To never put them through that again, because it was trash having another dude walk in and saying your time's up. You know, like another man telling me that my time holding my child is up, and you know. Especially at the time, I was a hothead. I remember that day being like, man, I'm about to be in here a little longer because you ain't finna tell me that. But I had to realize, like, he told you that because you put yourself here. You know, that's it, dog. You know, you got to figure it out from here. You know, like, as long as you were doing the negative stuff, it's going to take you probably twice that long to do the positive stuff just to finally start seeing better light, you know, because I still have PTSD, like, it's going to mess up this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to mess up this way. And, you know, I fight that other guy every day.
Still,
I fight him every day. You know, like, there's days I wake up and I'm like, this fool did not say this. And then it's like, nah, that's what they want from me, dog. And go chill, go ride for a little bit, relax, and figure it out, you know. Or I'll text my oldest son, how you doing? What are you doing? And then it puts me into that dad mode, like, realize, like, man, you can't be that guy tripping no more. You gotta, you know, you already let him down before. Don't do it again. So.
Yeah, and especially you were saying like comments, you want to get on that front line, and sometimes you're like, oh man, you know.
Yeah, because I'm real sensitive about my music, you know, because all I ever had was music. When I was lost, whenever I didn't have nowhere to sleep, all I had was music. When I, you know, was broke, all I had was music. And now that I'm, you know, blessed, it's music. So I'm sensitive when people jump online trying to claim some of my work. When I know the truth, you know, but the truth is like when things start happening, people start, oh, well, I was the one that, and I'm like, man, you didn't do nothing, man.
Yeah, man. And then you do want to kind of clap back, but it's like, man, why am I going to even come off the throne?
Yeah,
and argue with peasants, man.
Exactly. It just put me in a sense like, all right, no more letting people in the studio just to hang out and throw out ludicrous ideas just so they could feel like they helped write a record. It's crazy.
Hey man, so now when you feel like you're on your last bid, when do you go? Because are you an artist already, and then you catch another little situation?
When I went to prison?
Yeah,
I was trying to pursue the music still, went to prison, I ended up getting into music in prison. I ended up playing in the band. I started doing gospel songs like Marvin Sapp records, like in church and stuff like that. Never would have made it, all those. You Saw the Best in Me, all those. And to be honest, it was like my way of just trying to get my music itch out, right? But then I started finding him. I started reading the word because now I got to quote stuff in between the songs and stuff. But I find myself reading stuff like, damn, you know what? That's actually pretty true. But why did he say that? You know, what was this book written for? Who were the people of Ephesus? You know, like you start wanting to learn things, and then it's just weird how it works. Knowledge is power. You just start feeling this power that it gives you, and you just want more of it. But you realize like it's not your power, it's his. So I start singing in church. And then I'm still an artist.
Were you singing in church to just find an outlet to sing at
That's
first?
how it started. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it started. My mom used to say, "You're gonna sing in church one day," and I'm like, "Good luck getting me there." And when the Lord locked me up and said, "Go,"
There's a church.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh man," because the truth is, churches are used for traffic and trading in prison. So you got to get something to the other side of the unit. That's where you're gonna do it. You got to talk to somebody. That's where you're gonna do it. So I remember going there, but you start finding yourself just listening to these testimonies and like, man, I went through that too. And then you're like, because they visit the prison and they leave, the ministries, and then you're like, dang, that dude's going home.
Right.
I'm not. So
Right.
he's doing something better than I am for sure. So I started finding it like that, but then I become the band director on the unit.
Right.
Yeah. So now they got me writing these different songs. Like we would take Simple Man, call it Sinful Man.
Right.
We would take Jolene and we call it Amen. Like we just changed up lyrics. It was, instead of Johnny Be Good, it was Jesus Be Good.
Right.
It was like we just to like,
And you found yourself enjoying that even more?
I did, man. What crazy is guys would walk up, to pray and stuff like that after the service. They pick somebody to go to, and my line was, and then they would give me these little papers, and it was like their little thing saying, hey, man, when you sang this song last Wednesday, it brought something out of me to call my mom. I ain't talked to her in 5 years. Thank you for that. We're building our relationship now. And it was those things right there that I was like realizing, like, man, I used to be mad that nobody had a hand to pull me out, but it made my hands stronger. And I'm starting to realize that because I'm the one that's meant to pull them out. And it's through the music, This voice isn't mine. I always thought it was his. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. Yeah, do I have fun making the traditional, like, records about just things I've been through? Yeah, but I definitely have the inspirational records, that I'm ready to put out and share with people. And, and I've put out some. I get guys coming to the show with the same things, but they buy meet and greet tickets just to tell me, hey, man, I was going to take myself 6 months ago. I found this song. Like, and we sit there like, you want a picture? Nah, I just wanted to tell you that.
Just
Thank
wanted
you.
to tell you.
Wow. And I'm like, wow, that's how deep it is. It's not even a fan. It's just somebody that made it through because of something I wrote and recorded.
It's therapeutic for you, and it's got to be for them, and it's got to be therapeutic for you as well.
It's super therapeutic for me because it's like, man, music and whatever the popularity and the cool, like sometimes that I don't even really like tend to that. Like I don't really even like it sometimes because I want to be able to go to Chuck E. Cheese with my kids, and sometimes we just can't do that now. But the truth is my newfound passion for it is meeting fans like that, meeting women that are like, you remind me of my son in prison, you remind me of my husband, you remind me of my brother, homeboys like myself, you remind me of me, I wrote a song called Sending Me Back, and it was a country song about going back to prison, and people were like, it went viral. But the truth was, when I got out, I caught 4 more cases a year out, and I almost went back.
This is pretty much your test and testimony too.
Yeah, man, it was hard because seeing everything finally move online and then realizing I'm about to go back to prison, I was like, you dropped the ball again, fool.
Right.
So
when did you know that it felt like this? And you say you still suffer with certain things now, man. Do you ever feel like not question that why do you have it? But are you motivated by fear sometimes too?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, same.
Oh, that PTSD of going back and being in that cell and just being told, not being able to move, all that, that's my biggest fear. And realizing that my kids are going to sleep and I'm not there, they don't even live with me, and that hurts me, but I'm on point with them, and I'm on time with everything that I need to do. But yeah, that fear is instilled in me. It's like, check good.
When did it go from rap, like R&B, to where now it's like, man, I'm a country artist?
So really in 2018, I did the first record that ended up coming out country, and I didn't mean it to be. Like I was just singing. My dad had passed away, and I did a song called Glad I'm Home. And it was like so like literally like my twang came out. I couldn't help it. I was just singing, and that was the first one. I get out of prison in 2020, and then I ended up doing a song called I Do It Anyway, and it was about my dad as well. And it's pretty much a song just saying, I know the drinks ain't gonna change it, but I do it anyway. So I ended up posting the video to it, and it went viral because people were like, he looked like a Houston rapper, but he sounded like King Brown.
Yeah, man.
And it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, damn, it is what it is. But
you and Pops close?
Me and my dad were like brothers.
Wow.
We were like brothers. He had me as a teenager, like I love my mom, and we're building a relationship now. But me and my dad were close, and my mom was close to my brothers. But me and my dad were like, man, where you at, Lou? Hey, even down to the, man, these fools tripping. Pull up to South Pump, man. Let's go, man. Hey, and we was rocking and rolling. With my daddy.
So your relationship with your dad was beyond.
Yeah, we like. my brothers even like it bothers them because me and my dad would call them like, man, pull up, we just drinking on the front in the front yard, just chilling. We going to Old Holes downtown, you know what I'm saying? That and there's a lot, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and he would vent to me, be like, man, I wish your brothers would come more,
Right.
and my brothers kind of envy me in a good way, like they're like, man, we wish we would have went, but we're glad you guys would do that, But me and my dad had me in high school, he was younger than my mother.
Yeah, how old was Pops when he passed?
He was only 46.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. And I lost him to the same drug that put me in prison.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's why it was kind of hard to, accept what I had been doing, because there's a deeper story to that. But
yeah, gotcha.
In a way, I felt responsible, so it's kind of like it was hard.
Man, what year did Pops pass?
2018.
Yeah, and it's a trip about that, man. It never gets easy. Sometimes it gets easier, and not easier by it gets easier. I'm just talking about, man, like when my mom passed, I didn't know how I was gonna get up. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't imagine life without my mom. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, it's like, man, okay, well, I gotta live now, but I didn't know how to. I didn't know how not to call. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything around you, no matter what, reminds you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everything. Everything. My third son that was born after he died, was named after him. So it's like he finally got that. I know he wanted that,
Right.
But because I'm named after him, and so like we got the third. He always wanted that, but my two oldest were named.
Did he get a chance to see some of it?
As far as the music,
earthly, yeah.
It wasn't like what it is now.
Right.
It was just me pursuing music. Like he would tell me, be like, man, one day, boy, you gonna be da da da. And he would have this thing where he'd be like, just sing, Lou, because I would do the hip hop stuff too, and the R&B stuff. But I would do like these soulful records sometimes to where it was like soulful, and then he'd be like, I swear, he would stop sometimes. Big Mike, come here, man. Come here, this Big Mike. Hey, man, Lou, run it back. This is what I'm talking about, boy.
Yeah.
This right here, man, sing me home. Them other guys, man, that's cool. And what you can do, that's nice. But they can't do that, boy. Sing me home. You got it. Let's go, man.
Do you feel like you found your voice after he passed? Like you found something?
And I think what it is, man, because I'm a firm believer that you can't find yourself as an artist unless you know who you are as a person, because who you are as an artist is a projection of who you are as a person, And I think when he passed, I was forced to be a man by myself without him, because I was always, man, Dad, da-da-da, man, Dad, guess what, man? What's up, man? Let's go, whatever. And when I realized I had to go through prison alone, I had to go through being a father alone without, the mentor of a father, it made me become my own man, and I'm walking firmly in my own boots. So when I did that, all you do is speak more firmly, and then the music came out, I knew who I was.
Hey, Lou, I tell people all the time, man, it's like with me, I felt like I had a manager, an agent, a representative for me that was like sitting right next to God.
Right.
And it was one of them things when my mom passed, I felt like it was, look out for him. Get these people away from him. That girl that he's with. It was like, and then things just started moving. And I'm not even talking about career as well. But things just felt like they just started moving different. Right. And you can't tell me that wasn't my mom sitting next to God saying, move him around. Get this person out of his life.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's crazy because you want to celebrate. Like, I wish I had a lot of celebrations with my mom. My mom she know I celebrate her. You know what I'm saying? But I wish I, and I didn't. So I don't really bang my head on it. But I wish I had more years like, Mom, this is you. Right. Mom, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But she knows.
Yeah. I'm the same. Because, like his homeboys come to my shows, Big Mike and them, and Vic, and Victor, I grew up with his son, and Victor they shot him when we were 17. So it's like he lost his boy and I lost my dad. We kind of have those conversations. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now to see them, see us, me at these shows, because they came to my Dallas show and we sold it out. And those little things like that, looking over, and man, these are some battles that have been through some stuff. To see them ball, I could see my dad in them, right. And I know that's why they cry, is because it's like, man, Lou, if you could see this boy. And that's why I carry him everywhere, dog. I just to make sure that he sees the stuff with me, like, because I don't believe it sometimes, but I know that he believes it because he always told me it was going to happen. It's just, you just always think that that's your parents talking, but it's weird because because I mean, if you do the math, sometimes they'll be like, well, unless you don't do this, it ain't going to happen. So I guess they were always telling the truth. We're hearing what parents say.
Man.
So
that's what I tell my kids, John. I'm like, please listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And I tell my kids, I say, dude, my job as a parent is also not to steer you wrong.
Right.
Like, I would not tell you
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
that I feel is going to really steer you wrong, and especially purposely.
Yeah, I deal with that with my son. He's like, you just want me. I'm like, why would I want you to mess up?
Right.
Like, you understand? Like, he's 14 now, and like,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
he like, man, we have our little sentimental moments. I'm like, man, you don't realize I'm the same one that carried you to Rosa's Cafe through the broken fence just so we can get there quicker. We would buy beans in a little pint, just tortillas to the side and make them. And you would, Dad, why we do it like this? Because it's cheaper.
Yeah,
and
man.
we make them the way we want, And those little memories like that, you don't realize, like, man, you're my baby. Like, no matter how big you get, you're my baby. Why would I steer you wrong?
Right.
Like,
yeah, and sometimes, man, we even as us growing up, we heard it got locked in, but now you're like,
yeah.
I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why even with my mom or even just with other people, sometimes you got to continue to keep hitting them with the message.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, sometimes you got to let us crash the car too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta let us crash the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So when you go into, and not even go into country is just one of them things, man, where, country found you or you found country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you just felt like, man, this works for my emotion, my voice. And when you say even with your pop's friends, some of the toughest are the most sensitive that you could tap into. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something that's there. Mm-hmm. So when like, bro, I think this is my calling.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you want to do with it? Did it feel like that was the most realest and rawest you on the music side that you could be?
It really didn't happen like you think, man.
No.
I really went through like a crazy breakup, and to give you the short version, I fell asleep one time crying drunk on the floor, and I played the song that I had did about the breakup that I didn't put out, and like on my story, and I woke up to all these messages, and I'm like, what did you do?
So you were drunk social media?
I was pretty much depressed, man, because the song talks about me going to Starbucks and buying two because people would always ask, hey, where's your other half? And I'm like, oh, she's at the house, And
was that real?
It was real because
Wow.
she ended up. I got my karma. I was a womanizer, lying piece of shit back in the day. For lack of better words. And they say your karma.
That pretty much summed it up.
Yeah. So she did me in dirty. Like, man, she had it planned from the get go, and it was so surreal. Like, even she did me so dirty. Even I was like,
right? How could you?
Like, damn. Like,
oh my God.
I looked at God like, did you ball it everything I did up in one and times it by 10? Because that's what happened. And she did me pretty dirty. And I did the song. And we would go to Starbucks every morning. And, whenever they saw that she wasn't going, I'm like, oh, she's at the house. And then it hit me real bad when I would open up the fridge and I'd see like 20 of her drinks that, I would just put there from the day. Oh, it was awkward. Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for laughing, Louie. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, man, that old awkward off mic laugh. Hey, dude, when you looked at Louie, was like,
I was like, I looked at you the way I did her, like,
well, yeah.
yeah, no, so.
Be still my heart.
Right. I was like, man, I got to get this out. So I go record a song about it. And then I remember just being messed up one day, and I go home and I don't even make it to the room. I'm just on the floor in the living room, and I record the speaker of the song. And I don't remember posting this. I woke up and everybody was like, you got to put that out. I had people from Nashville calling me the next day.
Damn.
The homies from Kiss FM had like pretty much, they got on their phones and were like, yo, we saw y'all in with your friends. I need to get on the phone with this guy. And I ended up getting on the phone with a big manager from Nashville in like 2 days. And he was like, yo, do you know what you are? And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to think so. And he's like, man, what are you from? I'm like, man, I'm from Texas. Like, this is just how we are. Like, he was like, what made you want to do country? I was like, just from Texas, this is how we are. Like, I mean, I can do whatever. I just, I grew up on different kind of music. And he was like, what you are right now is what the industry is looking for. But there's a certain type. You have to have the pool of the people. And to have that pool, you have to be one of the people, There's a lot of, things that come with that. But I ended up putting this song out, and me and her had a photo shoot, right before, and I used her for the graphic and blurred her face out. And
oh my
it goes
God.
and it goes viral.
Hey, bro, and it can't get in. You can't write that as a script.
Yeah, I would hope not, because their pain was definitely something I didn't want to experience.
Right.
So but I used it, and what's crazy is they say the big breakups give you the greatest songs, man. She hurt me so bad, I wrote an album and a half.
Damn.
In at least 2.5 months, because I write really fast, because growing up rapping and stuff like that, I don't really go in there and write. I just go in there and just do it. I just jump on the mic, put on the music, and let me just sing, man.
Was it hard for you to write it?
Every day, dude.
Right.
probably spent more time crying in the booth than I did recording the songs.
And that's like peeling off real layers.
Yeah,
right?
because I would sing a line and then I'd be like, and my boy's like, "You good, bro? I'm gonna go get a drink," because he already knew it was gonna be a minute. He come in there, that Bud Light,
take your time. We're gonna take about 5. Go ahead.
Yeah. He's like, "You want another beer?" And I'm like, "Please." You know, like, so, and I used to smoke real heavy at the time, so I'm gonna go take a smoke break. And before you know it, they'd come in there and be like, "Man, he just lit up in the studio. Just let him get it out." You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there I'm not even caring where I'm at this point. Like, you know, so I record these songs.
Was it did you feel depressed?
Oh man, my depression was the worst because, you know, I confided in her in my father's passing, because when I got out, it had been 2 years and he hadn't, you know, I hadn't grieved yet, you know, I wasn't over it, and I probably still ain't, you know, but I'm a lot better than what I was. But I confided in her, so to have that pillow just be removed from my head, you know, it was like falling, you know, and she just, you know, I just got my karma, and I had to accept it like that, and but I mean, here we are now, so I can't really complain too much, you know, but I wrote these songs, and then I start getting back. I do the Sending Me Back song. Then I start seeing, like, hold on, I wasn't doing it for that. Like, my boy that shoots my videos, we were there. We went to go film the video at my father's gravesite, and, like, again, things you can't write, they're there. I got my family from Mexico at the gravesite with the tent and a banda with my abuelita sitting there, and my primos around her. And I was like, this is crazy. I really didn't want to show this side of my life, but I like that they're here. I love this. I wanted it to be real, like, just by myself. And I filmed it, you know, and people were like, this fool's actually Mexican. I'm like, well, duh, what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't grow up in my father spoke fluent Spanish. You wouldn't even know he knew English if he spoke Spanish. My mother knew Spanish too, but we grew up predominantly speaking English, and, you know, being from Texas, like, you know, you always kind of like, they always like, man, what do you, but on my mom's side, I'm 4th generation Texan. On my dad's side, 1st, 2nd generation from the States. And my family's all from Jalisco. They're from Guadalajara, a small town called Chimaltitan right outside. So it's like, those little things, like, people were like, hold on. So, okay, cool. And then they start realizing, oh, this fool got a past. Right. And then I did a song called Just Be Me. And I remember, I feel bad, I love you, mama, but I played this song for my mom. Really, my brother's sucking me into it. We were at the house, and I hadn't put out the song yet, and the song says, even my mama can't stand the side of my face, but I'll be all right and I'll be okay as long as I drink it away. And so I played the song, and my mom kind of heard it. She looked at her husband and was like, you heard that? And he let it pass. My brother, this fool, he said, no, y'all got to listen to this. Run it back. I said,
play it back.
I was like, dang, all right. So I played it back, and my mom goes off on me that day. She's like, nobody's going to like that song. Your fans are going to hate you. All these people that you're building online, they're going to think it's the dumbest thing. It's the biggest record for me. And it popped. Because apparently a lot of people's mamas couldn't stand the sight of that thing. It's like the biggest scream record, you know, and when my mom's in the crowd at the shows, you know, I changed the lyrics for her. Even the judge can't stand the side of my face, you know. So just out of respect for my mother, you know, because it was, you know, there were times where, you know, we bucked each other. You know, there's even a record called Put It Down, and it talks about the abuse. And I asked her permission to put it out. You know, I didn't want to just without mom's consent, you know. She was like, man, you got to tell your story how it is, son, you know, and I apologize for everything, you know. So, you know, so it all my stuff, I write all my music, you know.
It's got to be hard to tell your story, too, sometimes when it involves others, but it's your truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's my story, but it's I'm being vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, in the beginning it was hard. You know, I did a song called Alcoholic, and the intro to the video was me acting out a scene of me missing my son's basketball game because I was drunk. And it was like at a bar, getting kicked out of the bar, and I'm like calling my son, and then they're like telling me, like, he leaves me a voicemail like, hey, seeing if you're gonna make the game, guess you didn't make it. You know, I'm like, I got my days mixed up because I was
that
drunk.
a real message, or you felt that?
Nah, I felt that because I was always there for my boy. Don't get me wrong, but in a way I did, because I missed 2 full seasons of basketball when I was in prison. So I still did them like that. But I felt like, you know, that was my way of getting that out, and I did that. So when I was scared about putting that out, because it was me admitting, like, you know, another bar fight and broken hand, you know, bourbon bottles and a broken man. You know, I just had to tell people what it was. And so many people related. I actually played that one at my shows on the piano. So it's crazy to see somebody did it 30 years, and that was a real story, tatted up on the face, and they had to film him. He's balling. This guy's balling, you know. And then when I realized that my followers weren't followers, it was a following. Yeah. It was like a responsibility that I felt, you know, and it was like real heavy. But yeah, man, I'm being vulnerable, and sometimes, you know, like, I'm not tripping on what people say, you know. Like the Just Be Me record is like one of the biggest ones. I wake up and we post a clip of it, and it had 76,000 shares on Facebook, and people are like, "Yo, you're going viral," and I'm like, "Where?" They're like, "Facebook." I'm like, "How?" At the time, I probably had, like, you know, maybe like 30,000 followers, right? Now we got like 700,000. And I was like, this is crazy. But it was because I'm just me, you know, in the videos and in the song. I had I'm in the Impala, a 64 Impala.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just how we grew up in the hood with them
Right.
at the end of the block. And
this isn't some director saying, "Oh, let's bring in Impala," and
No, so my boy shoots all my videos, but I creative direct every video you've seen out.
Gotcha.
I creative direct everything from the scripts to the comedy to telling people where to stand, how I want to shoot it, what I want to do, and I think that's what makes it closer with my audience because they feel it's from me. Because when TikTok started taking off for me, like people would tell me, "You got to separate your comedy and your music, two different accounts." I'm like, but I'm not two different people.
Exactly.
You know,
Man,
so I started putting that in the
and
music.
that's us too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people say, "Oh, they're contradicted." I'm like, man, there's just some days you want to bust out and laugh, and then in the next moment you want to sob and start crying.
Yeah, and that's the feelings of a broken man. Because sometimes like we can't fight it. We mad some days, and sometimes it just comes out a different way. And there's some days where you're like, all right, I'm over it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get up and move and be positive. You know.
When did you and the ex break up?
November of 2022.
Oh, damn, that's recent.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. And what's
No,
crazy?
not really. You said November 2022?
Oh, 2021. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Yeah.
God. Yeah, I'm all mixed up. But yeah, November 2021.
Really?
2 years ago.
Have you talked to her since?
Not at all.
Wow.
No.
He said not at all.
No.
You're like,
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I hear stories that she'll be in town when I'm doing certain things, and it's just crazy how karma works. Because like I'm in town, and you know, one moment I'll find out that she's there, and her dude's, you know, in physical altercations with other chicks, and I'm doing a halftime show at an NFL game, you know, and on the radio while she's in town. Like, so it's like, again, you don't mean to do these things against them. You're just doing it for yourself and your family.
yourself, bro.
Man, karma works in mysterious ways. I guess it just bounces around to people because I'm like, man, like, you know, because you know what's crazy is people ask me that, how you feel about her. I'm like, man, a part of me still has feelings for her to where I want to say, hey, I'm sorry it's not with me, but I hope you're happy.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think you learned from prison?
That freedom is something you can't buy back. It's something you can't buy back. You can buy whatever you want in this world, but it ain't time. You can't buy that back. You know, you can't get that back. You know, I got out. My son was a little taller, and I wish I was there to see him grow.
Yeah, but you're not missing those too many of those moments now, though.
Not at all,
Right.
man. Like I get my kids, like anytime I get a chance. Like my boy will tell you, even when we're on the road on the bus, I'll stop in the cities where my sons live because I have they're in 3 different cities. My boys, I got 3.
All in Texas?
I got three baby mamas. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'll stop in different cities and I'll get out and I'm at soccer games. I'll get out. I'm at the parent versus kids soccer games. You know, and I tell them, hey, I got to get out and do this. I get out and I got to go to school events, and then we're on to the next city. Yeah, so I'll squeeze.
So you're
it
doing
in.
a tour on tour?
Yeah, I squeeze it in. My son in West Texas at my show, he came to sound check with me. We went fishing while I was filming. I took him riding on the horses while I was filming. You know, just to see my baby. You know what I'm saying, and let him know like, that ain't going nowhere. You know, he's just busy. You know.
How excited are you for what's going on right now? This part of your life.
I'm one of the. I've been doing it so long to where I don't let the excitement take over.
Gotcha.
I want to stay focused and go and keep working. You know, yeah, we got the major deal. Yeah, we got you sold out shows. Yeah, we're the revenue's coming in, and the team is heavy because putting my guys on was the big thing. My security guys used to be my guns when I lived the other life. You know, and now they're level 4 and level 3 bodyguards, and so putting them in on a payroll and getting them, just. Telling my boy be like, hey, take the next 3 days off, and seeing him on Snapchat with his kids, just chilling, relaxing, knowing he's good.
Gotcha.
That's what I do it for, So now I'm at the point where it's not time to lay back. It's time to go harder. It's time to work harder.
That
like
crazy?
Really slam on the pedal and get on their necks.
Harder and smarter.
They told me. I told them at the label when we were signing. I said, man, y'all not gonna like it, but I don't stop working. Y'all gonna just be times y'all call me and say, relax, and it's gonna make me mad. And I remember that day they go, no, we won't. Well, that's all of December right now because they're like, oh yeah, well we're laying back. I'm like, that's cool. Well, how about this? I'm gonna work like crazy and knock out a lot of stuff. See you in January. Just make sure you got room on the table.
Yeah. You're like, man, I'm not laying down on me.
I can't. Never have. Never will. I feel I'm not one of those guys that can sit on his hands, man. I really can't. Like if I'm not being productive, I'm being counterproductive. That's
Are you a resolution kind of person? New Year's resolution, or you just go into the year?
Man, my thing's like this. If you gotta wait for the new year to change your life, then man, maybe you gotta change that in your life. Let's just, hey, if you feel like you got to change something,
change
and
it
you know
now.
that, why are you not doing it now? That don't make no sense. You were losing time, if anything, and if anybody knows that you can't get that back, I know it.
Hey man, you don't have the come and take it. No track.
Nah, you're talking about
No
the one
TV.
I did at LA. In LA.
Yeah, man. Oh my
Man,
God,
I got
bro.
to do that acoustically with Chris Perez, and that was
That was
surreal.
dope as hell, man.
Yeah.
How amazing was that when you figure out like, man, Chris
Who
and I
he is.
rocking up here.
Yeah,
Hell
who he
yeah.
is. You look over and you're like, even if I'm up there, I'm like, because I'm in my mode with that song, you know what I'm saying? And I look over and I'm like, man, that's, because when I was younger, I would watch some with Selena. And then when I got older, I would have dreams even as a youngster, and I would play these dreams back in my head. I'm like, damn, maybe I wasn't on stage with Selena, because I would have dreams I'm on stage with Selena. I'd see Chris. I was like, maybe it was me,
Right.
So seeing Chris over there next to me is like a beautiful thing, because we became friends. You know what I'm saying? We became cool people, and he's one of those people that's called me and is like, yo, if you ever have questions, just call me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
Hey man, can you do any of that a cappella for us?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They say I ain't country, but my people started this thing they call country. Back when a man had a crop with his hands working land before money. I shouldn't have to fight for what's mine, but I'm taking it back, take it from me, yeah. Come and take it, come and take it from me. When the country music come with strings outside of fiddles and guitars, can you tell me? Cause whoever's pulling strings is pulling hard and trying to tell us who we are, but they can't tell me. Cause I was listening as a youngin' when the thunder rolled. Mama made a pyros with some sides on the stove. Country was about making sure your neighbor was good. I ain't about color, man, it never was. They say I ain't country, but my people started this thing they call country. Back when a man had a crop with his hands working land before money. I shouldn't have to fight for what's mine, but I'm taking it back, take it from me. Come and take it, come and take it from me. Yeah.
Louie TheSinger in the neighborhood.
Hey, thank you.
Believe that, man.
You just sang a little bit for us, and having that topic of what is country music. Have you ever had an experience where you felt like country wasn't embracing you?
Yeah, that's why I wrote that song. That song was personal, and it was hard because it's so personal because they weren't invited, but people were in the studio that day, and it's funny because they tried, they're trying to claim, once it happened, but
Oh, yeah.
I wrote that song out of a personal experience. There was a local DJ from the country station that posted, hey, who are we not playing from the city that we should be playing, right? I shared it, and I was like, let them know, gente. Man, they tore up the comments. They were like, whatever. They went at him. Then he posts, they keep trying to push a hip-hop country act on me. It's never going to happen. We're never going to play it. It's never going to succeed in country music.
Box.
Cool. I don't remember rapping on my stuff, but whatever, so it was one of those things where it was like, all right, so what am I gonna do? And then it turned that fire in me where I'm like, you know what? I don't need you. I never needed nobody. I just wanted to make music. So I wrote the song, Texas boots, Mexican roots, single cab with a coat that shoots, you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things where it was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask y'all no more. I'm taking it. And if you want it, come back, come and take it.
Right,
So
take it.
that's why that record was written. And it's funny because that guy writes and he's like, hey man, you think you can make a better post? I'm having to delete my Facebook, and that's where I work from. And I'm like, man, because my fan base is a little bit more different than the traditional country. I got the traditional country fans too,
Right.
but yeah, my fans were in his inbox letting him have one, and so was my grandma for that matter.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
My grandma was like, I wrote him. I said, Grandma, why you do that? She was like, why? I was like, because if he writes you back sideways, I'm gonna have to go up there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's different,
That's gonna be
my
that count
grandma.
to 10, taking that breath again.
Oh
huh?
yeah. Yeah. So I was like, that was a big one for me, and I had a lot of people too also request that I be removed from certain festivals because of how my shows are and how it's just it's just wild, it's like, but I'm having a good time, and my show is 2 hours now, so it's like we up there rocking, and it's cool. It's just, yeah, I definitely get a lot of backlash.
I also love how you show so much respect to Selena. And I saw that when you were back here in November, you went to her star, you took a photo. Can you talk a little bit more about her music influence on you?
Oh man, I mean, being first off Mexican American from Texas, that's actually a big thing in the household. But just seeing, somebody come from like a household similar to mine and going to where she went, it gives you hope. Like, just not even like it's in music, but as a person, because you could just see her sometimes in interviews and she was just so happy, and it's like, man, you can't buy happiness, and so whatever she had, you just want to strive for it, and you start realizing she had music, You know, she had music in her family, her brother, you know, her dad, you know, and, you know, of course, her husband in the future becoming her husband. He was a guitar player. Like, it was like, you look at her, she was surrounded by music. So that's probably why she was surrounded by love, you know, and that's why, you know, but she was a big inspiration. You know, she danced on stage, she sang, she talked. She would do the English records, even from Whitney to, you know, Paula Abdul. So it's kind of like, you don't feel so lost when you see somebody do it way before you. A lot better too, you know, like you see somebody doing all these different records and all that, but she's still her, you know. So you're like, you relate to them, you know, like she was like, I tell everybody, you can't be a voice for the people if you're not one of the people, and she was definitely one of us. So, you know, when we lost, you know, everybody lost her, and we lost a part of ourselves. I was 4 years old when she passed, and I remember just being there, everybody just sad, and I was like, I didn't know I was sad, but I understand as a man now, you know, we felt like we lost somebody that we knew, you know, and that's why I think, you know, I've been blessed for the fan base that I have now. It relates me to, you know, to her situation.
Dude, I remember what LA felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my God, bro. And I remember, like, and that's just one of those things too, man, where you stop that whole day, you just stop regular rotation. I was on radio. Right. You stop regular rotation, and even if you didn't play everything Selena, on a hip hop station, you know, she penetrated our playlist, you know, especially being here in LA. Yeah. And then once she passed, it was like you just open it up. You open the phone lines, man, and to this day, you know, you there's still people that feel a certain way, and there's still motivation from it. Like you say, you were 4. You knew that something was going on.
It was something was not
4.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was weird, surreal, you know, like, yeah, she was, and she even idolized the Michaels, the Janets. Right. You know, so you don't, it's again, you idolize the Michael and the Janets, but then when you see somebody else like her doing it, you're like, man, she is just like us, like one of us, you know, like that's why she was our voice, because she was one of us. You know, nobody will speak for us that we don't claim as one of our own.
Hey, Louie, what about being in country and not having a lot of you to look at? You know, like there's people where say, oh, you know, like there's somebody else that's looking at Louie TheSinger now and say, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, I love that. You know, the label tells me, they're like, you know, I was at the CMAs and my CEO walked up and was like, "Are you ready? There's gonna be 100 U's next year,
right? And
you're gonna be the face of them." And I'm like, "All right, cool." She's like, "How do you feel about that?" I'm like, "I love it." You know, I feel like if I'm giving an opportunity to somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't gotta diddy this situation. You know, music is for everybody. You know, and you know, spreading love is what got me here. So why would I ever want to keep that from somebody else? So I don't feel alone, because I've always felt that, but I've learned to live like, you know, like just because I'm alone don't mean I'm lonely, you know? Gotcha. I definitely feel like there's other Mexicanos that, like Mexican Americans, that do country, right? But they definitely didn't grow up the way I did, you know, like, you know, some of them, you know, grew up in law enforcement. I grew up being enforced by the law,
right?
You know, I'm starting to see more. And you know what's crazy is when I started on TikTok and I would start doing all that, I'd be like, if you like Kane Brown, then you're gonna love this, da-da-da.
Gotcha.
And now they're saying, if you like Louie TheSinger, you would love this Mexican. And so it's like a lot of Mexicanos coming out and saying, you know what, I actually do like doing country. I just didn't want to do it because everybody's making fun of me. And in my head, I'm like, man, look, hey, whatever you want to say, I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to do music for you.
Did you have anyone that told you, man, what are you doing?
Yes and no, because the way I was doing it. They'd be like, man, that ain't gonna go on country, you know, da-da-da. They say I see a prison cell. They say I'd never make it well. Where they got one of those, right? They're like, all those things that ain't gonna work in you know, in country, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, so what are you saying? I should sound like this every time I sing. Like, it's not gonna, that's just not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now what's funny is they're sitting there trying to record on the same beats. You know, like, and I'm like, oh, y'all messy for that.
Hey, man, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah.
But don't flatter me.
Yeah, right?
You know?
But it's just weird because it's like, you know, a lot of people, I'm really starting to realize that people only say negative stuff because they got something negative going on in their life.
Right.
They don't want to see people win. And that's such a sad thing, because that's literally what makes you not win. Like, you can you can pray like you worship the man, but the man knows who you really worship.
Yeah, man.
You know, you can't move like the devil in the dark because that's gonna pop out in the light. You move like you move with God in the dark. You move with God in the light. It's gonna follow you wherever you go. You're gonna be there for the fight. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be good. And that's so weird to me when people be like, it ain't never gonna work. It ain't never gonna. That ain't country. Well, Universal Music Nashville just said I'm country, so here we are.
And you've been saying it for a while too.
Yeah, you know,
Man.
and it really just came back from our roots because, you know, like I grew up going to coleaderas, you know, like riding, like they would ride the horses and, you know, they flipped, but it was just one of those things. That's what we saw, you know, and so like riding a horse wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, we're going to ride. It was kind of like, my uncle wants me to go walk the horses right now. It was just something we did, you know, and, you know, as a man, I got back on the horse and, you know, like it's my peace. It don't bother me. My manager even be like, they'll be like, hey, can we talk to Louie? He's at the ranch. Okay, that's cool. Call him. He's not going to answer. So it's like, you know, I'll have my meetings sometimes with my Starbucks on the horse, you know, and that's always funny when the Uber Eats driver will pull up because sometimes I have it sent to the ranch and I sit there and ride up to the gate and they're like, they don't know where to go. Like, who's ordering Starbucks over here? You know, because the ranch is in the city, which is funny because my family's ranch was down the street. And I ride up there and I'm like, hey, appreciate it. And I grab it. I mean, thank you. And they're like, I'm like, oh, close the gate. And then I'll ride off. And I'll look back sometimes and I'll just see them. They're like,
what the hell?
Because I sometimes got my shirt on, like
right,
yeah,
and you tatted up.
They so confused. They're like, you know, like, man, and I'm just, you know, it is what it is. But you
what
know,
about when you somewhere and people that don't know you, and you'll see somebody asking for pictures and autographs, and they're like, wait, who's that?
That and not being funny, you know, what's really weird. Like and I don't know what it is, but some people walk up to me and they just be like, "Are you a singer or something?" And I'm like, yes, ma'am. But I got this weird thing where I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm a gymnast.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like it's funny because they're like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, whatever. But nah, like when I'm out, like in places, it's gotten to the point where like, yeah, now it's shifting to the point where like, that's that guy that does country music, right?
Man.
And it's cool, you know. But like again, like I'm just, he says it, especially when we're not in Texas, I stick out like a sore thumb. And it's like, I really do. And I mean, it's just how I dress, you know? It's just, you know, and I am tatted up. Like when I'm in Nashville, oh man. Them fools are like,
look at this.
Look at this old gangster vaquero. That's what they call me. They're like, man, gangster vaquero, what's up? Like gangster cowboy. And I'm like, because you know, like some of the records, like the one with Chris literally starts off, go gang cowboy. Like it's kind of like, oh shit, like what is he talking about? Like, but it's some gangster shit.
As it should be, though.
I mean, it's just real life stuff.
And it's crazy because it's not a sloppy carbon copy.
Yeah, no, it's not. And you know what's funny is like, I mean, I do bring up prison and stuff like that online, but it's really just to spread positive messages. But when you know, when you can see somebody, when you've been through it and somebody's around's been through it too, you just feel it.
And
like
somebody got to hear it, man. And country is a soulful music.
Yeah.
And when you got up at this show and you just briefly told your story, like I was in a prison cell, did this, came home, and that's what got like, okay. Yeah. So whatever it is, I remember when I was in speech class, they said, say something that's going to get the attention first. And not that you're like, oh, fire or something, but you said something and the whole room was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, I got it. And then when you hear that talent, you're just like, oh, my
thanks.
God, bro.
Yeah, it's cool because it's like, I think country music's always had outlaw country, of course, but they didn't really have real outlaws doing country. And that's what that scares them. You know, I'm here to disrupt country is what the label likes to say. And if that's what they want me to do, man, let's do it. I'm here. I'm the guy for it. You know, I ain't never had no problem being the guy that people look at like, what's he doing? Hey, well, just pay attention. I'll show you.
My man. We had Ralph Barbosa in the neighborhood, and I'm pretty sure you know that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Ralph, we were talking about tacos. When it comes to LA tacos and Fort Worth tacos.
I'm gonna have to go with Fort Worth tacos, man. I love LA tacos. Don't get me wrong. Danny Trejo spot's dope. But I'm gonna have to go with Fort Worth homemade tacos, man. I got to, man. I got to. Texas tacos is definitely different.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Texas tacos are
Cali
better.
different is way different. You know, y'all use flour tortillas and they're bigger and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But man,
wait, flour tortillas? Where you been going with big ass flour tortillas?
Because that is wrong.
I've been a couple places, but
flour tortillas.
Yeah. Maybe y'all got to take me to the good spots.
Man.
You know?
Yes.
The good spots, you got to just jump out the car.
We actually had one by one of the other places we had to go by the other day, and maybe I should have stopped. But man, Fort Worth, like, man,
Yeah, somebody took you to the wrong place. It's shame on that person.
Or a better one is my grandma's tacos. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, you can't
I'll
be
give you a
grandma's.
pass on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be downright wrong and be like, oh man, your grandma, I ain't even had them, but bring them. You know, I'd love to try them.
Yeah, nah, but I mean, man, show me the hot spots.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Next time you come back, because we know you got to get to the airport today.
Yeah.
Next time you come back, man, we going on tour.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
let's
we
go.
start, and then I'm gonna ask you that same question again, and you're gonna be like, Fort Worth.
He's still gonna throw up for it.
You're still gonna be like, man, Texas tacos, man. Hey, man, I noticed when in print, Louie TheSinger, the singer, is it always connected? Is one word?
It's one word.
Why so?
Man, really, on all my social media handles, I made it all really one word, period. But Louie TheSinger, it was just kind of like a little statement, like not Louie the singer, it's just kind of like the singer. Like,
I heard that.
The singer, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I don't know, it was just something really. And when I came out with the name and wanted to do that, it was around social media's little boom of 2011. I wanted to do that because it was like, even if you didn't click on my name, you knew what I did.
Right.
So
it's crazy, man, how people say, oh, I know him now. You know what I'm saying? And, oh, he's blowing up. But people don't understand, man. When people say, oh, and I say it all the time, man, that's an overnight sensation. I'm like, man, that's a long-ass night.
I've been doing music, I've been doing music 16 years.
Yeah, man, that's a long night.
Yeah. They say as fast as you come in the industry is as fast as you're going to get out. And
Gotcha.
the longer you work to get in it is the longer you learn how to keep it.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer of that because the way I'm moving now, like if you'd have given me the success and the financial situation that I'm in now at 25, yeah.
Yeah, be totally different.
Idiot.
Hey, man, I remember Luther Vandross, rest in peace. At one point he said, I would rather have 15 albums that sell 1 million than one album that sells 15 million.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That's real talk. Build on it, man.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
but
really
if you're
cool.
gonna requote it, just say Big Boy said.
Yeah. I got you. I remember Big Boy said that Luther said.
Oh God, yeah. We gotta give it back to the community.
Luther.
Louie TheSinger in the neighborhood, bro, and you said that there's a hometown show and this is around a little bit after Christmas.
Yes. 2 days after Christmas, I'm performing at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth, Texas, which is like a marquee and like a rite of passage.
I was going to say, what is that? Yeah, what does that mean?
Man, I grew up 5 minutes from there, right in the hood, right there in Diamond Hill. In the stockyards, right outside. It's a rite of passage in country music. 1, 2, for sure you have to make that run if you're in Fort Worth, and 3, for me to be headlining my show as a Mexican American country artist from that city and from that neighborhood, like taking my grandma and my mom that day is gonna be like I don't even know if I'll be able to like hold myself.
Had you ever been in there watching another show before?
I'm glad this will probably go viral, but I love you, Marty. But the GM, he asked me. He didn't know that I had been in there only one time, and I got kicked out within 20 minutes in a big old brawl. Hey, they wanted the real deal. Here it is. So he's showing me the venue when we're planning out the show, and he's like, "You ever been here?" And I was like, "Oh, man,
Let me
Billy
see.
Bob. I don't even know.
I pass it all the time.
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah. So, I hadn't got to make it to a show. I just made it to the pool tables.
Nobody made it on stage by the time you
I made it to the pool
thrown out.
tables, and that was about it. 20 minutes in, and cowboy hats were flying. So, but no, like it's like one of those things. Like my mom has crazy stories in the stockyards. My brother has stories to where he's had to call me. Like we're gonna be shooting documentary footage about that. But like where it means something to us, So
hell yeah,
I am going to be headlining my show December 27th to be ending my tour. We did 40 cities, and it was crazy to see everything. But I wanted to bring it back home. It's my first hometown show as a major recording artist, and UMG Nashville is gonna be present. I'm gonna hopefully the brother Chris Perez will be playing with me, which he should be. I got the homie Paul Wall opening up, which is crazy because Paul Wall at Billy Bob's really ain't never been. That's not a thing.
But you see how the God works though?
Yeah, Nelly was the only artist like that that they've had there. So Paul performing there is definitely left field for them. But they were like, whatever Louis wants, we want this show to be different. And I was like, what?
How
this is crazy.
country is the spot?
Oh.
It's country. Wow.
Yeah. So it's pretty country. Like, Like it's a marquee in country music. Like it's the world's largest honky tonk. So like I think the first month in we were already over 1,000 tickets. So it's like it was a blessing. Like, and that's like shout out to the label. The label wasn't involved yet. So like that was all like independent. Because we did 10,000 tickets on the tour by myself. So it was kind of like surreal to see. So now we're here in in my hometown. I'm doing career day at my old elementary school, like all this. It's surreal. Like, and the kids are screaming. They're like, and it's not even just screaming. They're like, my dad loves your music. He plays you every day. And when the kids tell me stuff like, every weekend my mom cleans and she plays your songs, I'm like, wow. Like, how surreal is that? I used to do the little karaoke thing where I would sing in front of the TV to Selena, Michael, Garth, or whatever. And I started seeing these TikToks of these kids having their home karaoke too, but to my songs, and they're dressed like me. I started pulling up to some of these kids' houses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's dope.
Because if I ever saw like, walk in the house, I'd be like, bruh. So I walk in and I'm singing the song with them already. Stuff like that. Like, that's like, whenever their faces go boom, my face goes boom.
Hey, man, and they'll remember that forever and a day, bro. Yeah. Forever and a day. So your date is the 27th.
December of 20.
Hometown.
Yeah, December 27th.
I heard that, man. Congratulations to you on that. You can see it in your eyes, bro.
Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Real talk.
I wish it was tomorrow, but I know that I still got some prepping to do for it.
You know what? On the 26th, it will be tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. And it's so bad that I'm forgetting about Christmas, which I shouldn't do for so many reasons. My kids are going to be like, where's the presents? I'm going to be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, they're going to open up their stuff like 2 tickets to your concert. Like, yeah, but VIP also. You know what I'm saying?
VIP also, right? Yeah, so
and you do the greet because you already know me, so you're not going to do the meet and greet, but you can do the greet.
Yeah, so you right there, son. You just got $400 worth of stuff. Just be thankful.
Hey, man, congratulations to you, though, bro.
Hey, I got something for you, too. Do we have it in here?
Yeah. Bring it up.
Yeah, all right.
Man, so on behalf...
You don't have no horse out there, do you?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't get it up the elevator. So on behalf of myself and Justin Boots, I got you something. So I don't know. Do you own a pair of boots?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what kind of boots do you have?
Hey, man, you haven't seen any of my videos with Vicente Fernandez when I took the stage?
So they told me about that. Were you wearing boots?
Yeah, I had boots. I had, man,
So what kind of boots you got?
I have no idea. Oh, my Lord.
So I got you some black ostriches from Justin, some Tony Lamas. Check those out, big boy.
Ostriches for real, for real?
Feel that. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Feel that. That's them good boys right here.
Are these 13s?
Those are 13s, man.
Y'all had a conversation?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, feel that. That's real, though.
Those are those are real ostriches, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if they coming from Louie, they're not gonna be fake.
Usually the fake ones are a little harder.
Yeah.
Not that I know. Oh, my Lord.
He said not that I know.
Shout out to the ostrich.
Yeah. So Justin Boots, man, they were nice enough to let me go around the facility, and we got some big announcements coming in January, which is crazy because they only represent 2 people, which is Reba McEntire and George Strait. And
Lord have mercy.
So just imagine where that's gonna go in January, So I wanted to go and they told me to pick out a bunch of stuff, and I was like, well, I'm going by Big Boy's neighborhood. Let me get Big Boy some boots. So I got you some black ostriches.
Hey,
so
man,
next
let
time
me
you
tell
gotta
you
wear
though,
them,
bro. When I rock these, and I'm going to rock them, I'm going to send you a picture.
Okay, send me a picture.
Hey, man, for real. These are dope.
Thank you, man. I had to, man.
And please, if you see these on like a wholesale or not wholesale, but if you see me, not even an offer up. You know what I'm saying? If you see me resell these because you handed them to me.
Yeah. Hey, when I get the Grammy, I'll go ahead and sell it. Just break me off half.
All right. Well, you probably may not need that. Man, these are dope.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to thank you.
I can't imagine what these cost.
I just wanted to thank you for bringing me on, man.
Thank you, brother. It is a pleasure.
For sure.
It is really a pleasure, man, and thank you for coming into the neighborhood, bro.
Yes, sir.
Best believe that, man. Louie TheSinger in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.